Oh, Brittney Griner has lost her mind. Now, we've seen her have issues with WNBA refs this season. Lord knows. We've all got our issues with the refs. Brittney
Griner may have just crossed a line that could derail the rest of her season. The Atlanta Dream forward made physical contact with a referee during a heated outburst, which ultimately got her tossed from the game. Now, the WNBA has a decision to make about possible disciplinary action, while the internet is buzzing with intense reaction.
Let me be the first to say, I guess I'm the first to say, if Caitlin Clark did this, if Lexi Hall did this, if Sophie Cunningham did this, they would be suspended for the rest of the season. I mean, hell, Kathy Engelbert and her bunch might kick them completely out of the league.
Should Brittney Griner be suspended for making contact with an official? Brittney Griner's actions on live TV shocked fans across the league. The Atlanta Dream star was tossed from Wednesday's game after making physical contact with a game official. But this wasn't just any standard ejection. It was a full-on breakdown that has become the talk of the WNBA community.
Brittney Griner lost her mind last night on a WNBA ref. I almost said NBA ref. Lord knows they ain't got that kind of skill. They ain't got that kind of skill. They ain't working with that. I guarantee you that. Nonetheless, Griner got thrown out last night.
Let's take a moment to unpack this entire situation because what unfolded was nothing short of chaotic. It happened in the third quarter of the Dreams matchup with the Dallas Wings. Griner received a foul call while battling Haley Jones for a rebound. It was a routine call, nothing major, but Griner completely lost her cool. Visibly frustrated, she began yelling at referee Angelica Suffren, who responded by issuing a technical foul. But instead of backing off, Griner escalated the incident dramatically. Most players would have taken the tech and moved on. Griner chose to double down.
Griner, no. Jones just pokes it away and then commits the foul. How about the effort by Haley Jones, and Griner wants the foul.
As Griner was still arguing, she made contact with the official, causing her to stumble and nearly hit the court floor. That prompted the referee to issue a second technical foul, which triggered an automatic ejection. Let that sink in. She physically made the referee stumble. This went far beyond verbal complaints. It was dangerous physical contact. To make matters worse, her performance before the ejection was underwhelming. She left the game with just 4 points and 4 rebounds. One of her weakest outings in recent memory. She got ejected over a call while playing one of her worst games. Terrible timing and even worse judgment. And it doesn't end there. Less than a minute into the second half, Griner was tangled up with Haley Jones fighting for a rebound when Suffren called a foul on her. 10-time WNBA All-Star wasn't pleased, either with that decision or the lack of calls during the scuffle, and chose to take her anger out on the referee instead of helping her team stay focused on winning.
Something's got Brittney worked up. Something's got Brittney Griner worked up. She can't touch the refs, and she bum rushed the ref. Oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? As you can imagine, there is a lot of response. To say that people clowned Brittney Griner is the understatement of the century. I'm just going to read a few, but my goodness, what is going to happen here?
What happened next just shows how quickly things spiraled out of control. The argument with the ref led to a technical foul. Then, Griner appeared to make contact with the official, which brought about a second tech almost immediately. WNBA rules are clear. 2 techs mean you're out. 2 quick technicals over a routine foul. All because she couldn't keep her emotions in check. What's worse is how her exit impacted her team. When Griner was thrown out, Atlanta was clinging to a narrow lead over Dallas. The Dream pulled ahead in the fourth, but the Wings launched an 11-2 run. Her teammates had to step up without their starting center. All because she lost her cool. And despite her outburst, Atlanta still won, which made her behavior look even more foolish. Thankfully, Naz Hillman bailed out the Dream, sinking the game-winning three-pointer with just 2.6 seconds remaining to secure the 88-85 victory. Hillman came off the bench to drop 21 points, including 5 from beyond the arc. While Griner was sulking in the locker room, her teammates were on the court grinding out a win. The contrast is striking. Hillman, in Griner's absence, outscored her by 17 points and hit the shot that sealed the game. That's what happens when you stay focused on basketball instead of picking fights with refs. And this isn't an isolated incident. Griner has developed a reputation for challenging officials. Earlier this season, she even cut off her own halftime interview to shout at the refs. There's a trend here, a lack of emotional control that keeps coming back to bite her. The footage from the game doesn't help her case either. The clip clearly shows contact with Suffren, likely the trigger for the second technical. It happened even as a team staffer stepped in to de-escalate. Griner still kept pressing toward the official. That's not heat of the moment frustration. That's a deeper issue with controlling emotions. Griner, who had only 4 points and 4 boards, was still yelling at Suffren as she walked off the floor and down the tunnel. This wasn't a slip-up. It was a prolonged display of aggression toward a referee.
Brittney Griner does what we call checking them boxes. And Brittney is checking all the boxes. The woke trifecta. Keep in mind, we traded an arms dealer, the Michael Jeffrey Jordan of arms dealer, Victor Bout, back to Russia for Brittney Griner.
Let's now look at what consequences Griner might face, because this is where things could escalate. The 6-time All-Star could be staring down a suspension for making contact with an official, like a serious violation in both the WNBA and NBA. Physically confronting referees is a major offense, and the league now has to determine how harsh the punishment should be. It's possible she only faces an ejection, but that would set a dangerous precedent. If players can make contact with referees and only be removed from a single game, what's stopping others from acting out in the same way? The timing couldn't be worse for the WNBA either. Griner's first season with Atlanta has been rocky, and now she's been ejected for bumping a ref. The league is trying to grow in popularity and legitimacy, and having marquee players physically confront referees undermines that effort. What's most disappointing is that this controversy took away from what should have been a feel-good moment for Atlanta. The Dream, now holding a 16-11 record, are in second place in the East behind the Liberty, but instead of celebrating that success, the headlines are all about Griner's meltdown, and it's not just about one bad night. Griner has been underperforming all season. She entered this game averaging career-low numbers, 10.9 points and 5.6 rebounds. Instead of focusing on improving, she got herself thrown out for arguing with refs. It raises a bigger question. Is this part of a behavioral pattern? Griner has consistently expressed frustration with the officiating this season. Back in May, she was caught on a hot mic directing explicit language at the refs. So this isn't new. It's just the latest in a series of incidents showing disrespect for officials. And now the professional consequences may finally be catching up. The Dream organization is probably waiting to hear from the league offices. Will it stop with the ejection, or is more punishment on the way? With the league stepping in, there's a real possibility this won't just be brushed aside. It also brings up the issue of double standards. Imagine if a player like Caitlin Clark had bumped an official. The media would be demanding a suspension for the rest of the season and questioning her integrity. But Griner, many expect the league will go easy on her. Fans aren't buying it. Their reactions have been overwhelmingly negative, and for good reason.